Hello everyone, I am Dr. Jyoti Mandala. Welcome you all to the video lecture series on the course Unity 3D. In this lecture, we will be understanding in detail about rigid body and colliders. What is this rigid body in Unity? Actually, whenever we add objects into our game scene, then those components will not have any, let us consider weight or physics kind of components. But if you want to enable your game objects to act under the control of physics, then the rigid body component need to be added to your game object. Now, what is the what how they will be affected is they will be affected by velocity or by force or by drag effect. Multiple options are there to work with that one. So in Unity we can allow the rigid body to move by gravity or by applying force. Now if you want to go with the first option by gravity, then you need to use a use gravity property that will be available in your inspector window. You need to set that one to true, where gravitational force according to that your objects will move. Or else if you want to have your own kind of thing by applying force, then you need to use this interface called apply force, which requires some variables there. And these will work by using C sharp scripting. But here this video is out of that one. In this video we will be understanding how by gravity we are going to apply the rigid body onto the component onto our game objects. So let's see in the Unity. So what we can do, open our scene. This is the scene we have already designed in our up to our last videos, where the components that are added are reflecting here. The floor is of a cube type, and I have added two assets which are downloaded from the asset store, chair and the table, and some light effects have been added. Right. Now, what I want to do, I want to create one object, a primitive object. Let me consider a cube object. So go here. So 3D object, I will add a cube. Now once a cube has been added, you can see the properties that are available here for this cube. What are all the properties available? It have a transformation, it has a this one mesh renderer and box collider. This also we are going to understand today, but for now you just ignore this. Now I will just resize this one cube. Now on this cube, I want to show you something. Now this cube is in air now, isn't it or not? Now, whenever I'm applying this cube, whenever I have added this cube into my scene, if I start playing this one, you see it is rendering and you see there is no change in the position of the object. But always we know if objects are there in space, they should be attracted by the gravitational force. That means it cannot be placed on in air like this. If I start playing this one, it should fall down. Isn't it or not? That is what we are going to apply. That is called, that means this object is not having any mass. That means no weight is there for this one. No, right? I hope you all are understanding. So you need to have some mass on this object in the form of, in the measured in the form of kilograms. So once a weight has been applied and once the rigid component will be added, this will act according to gravitational force. Right. So let me show you how to do that one. So I'll stop this game. Okay. Now on this cube, I want to apply that component. To add a component, go to your inspector window, all of you. And in this inspector window, now what I want to do, I want to have some color to this one, just to have some the okay. So this is the color I have applied. Now this material I will apply on this cube. Now you see material has been added of color. What color we want to do. Now I want to apply rigid body. Now how to do that one? Click on the add component and in the search bar write down rigid. I already typed that resin. Got it? Now you will be getting the option rigid body. Select that one. Now once that is selected, that will be added to your component. To your that component will be added to your object. Now that is there in your inspector window. Can you see here rigid body? Now by default, you can see the mass of the object is 1. Basically, it is measured in kilograms. Okay, and then you can see there is an angular drag is there. You can see here use gravity option is selected. That means if it is enabled, the object is affected by the gravity. If it is disabled, the object will not be affected by gravity. In such a case, you need to go with these kinematic. Then it will be driven by manipulations will be done by transformations. So this video is totally by using this use gravity. So we need to enable this one. By default, it will be enabled. Okay, right? No. We have another option called I want interpolation. You can see here interpolation consists of none, interpolate, and extrapolate. What is this none? None is nothing but no, nothing will be there. Like if you see some jerkness in your rigid body movement, if while moving this object, if you see some jerkness, then if you want to have a smooth transformation, then you can go with these three options. Now, here none is nothing but no effect. Interpolation is nothing but smoothness based on transformation of previous frame. So previous frame, according to that, the smoothness will be defined to this object movement. If you go with the extrapolate, then smoothness will be defined on the next frame. I hope you all are understanding. We will go with this none option only, where it will not depend on the previous frame and next frame. By default, whatever is required, that will be applied. Okay. Now we have another option, collision detection is there. Collision detection is nothing but if you want to prevent fast moving objects from passing through the objects, then we need to have this collision detection. We need to collide, isn't it or not? An object cannot pass from another object. Right, so this collision has to be detected. Now, let me show you one thing here. Once all the default options, whatever we got after adding this rigid body, we are just leaving them as it is. Right, now let me show you. I will play this game and now we can see a difference. So, start playing this game. You can see here the object is going down, but it is going beyond this also. Are you all understanding? See here, there is a mass added to this one. The rigid body has been added. But what happened? Once you start playing, it has to stop here. Right? But it is going beyond this one. Now, that means for this object, collider has not been added. There comes the use of collider. Got it? Rigid body and collider will come together. As of now, we have added the rigid body component to this one. But what is collider? Okay, so collider is nothing but if two rigid bodies bump into each other, then the physics engine will not work. What like which physics engine is nothing but you are using the gravity here. So you need to calculate the collision where the collider has to be attached to both the objects. Collider attachment is nothing but you are just basically setting the boundaries around the object. Now, once they will detect that collider, that boundary, then the object will stop there. Collision will be detected and colliders are tied with the physics system. Now, what is the responsibility is to aid collision detection. Now, there are several types of colliders existing in Unity like box shaped, spear shaped, capsule shaped. Okay, now let's see in the Unity directly. I will show you. Did you see here when I have added this cube, you can see here a box collider by default is added and it has been enabled. Got it. Similarly, now that means you see box collider. If you see, if I select this edit collider, you can see a green border will be displayed here. That means a border around this object will be created, which helps in detecting the collision. Similarly, for all the objects we need to do, because if this object is bumping with this object, the collision has to be detected, isn't it or not? Knowingly, now what I have done is this is a cube, right? To this box collider will come whenever you add this one, it will be enabled only, but I have disabled this one. That's why what happened. See here, whenever I'm playing, it is this object is going beyond this one. It is going inside this object and passing through this object, right? It should not happen. So what we need to do, but we need to select this one also. By default it will be selected, but to make you understand, I have deselected this one. Got it? Now you see what happened. Did you see box collider? Once I selected, you can say green border has come. That means this is the border of this one, of this object. Right. Now I will play this game and show you how the objects are detected. Did you see? The objects are detected or not? That means the border of this object and the border of this object are detected. Collision is detected and it has stopped passing through that object. Right? Okay. One more thing I'll show you. You see, this object, I'll just rotate like this. Okay, I'll rotate this way. Okay. Now, now you see if I start playing this game, it will fall and it will flip also. Did you understand? Got it. I hope you all are clear. Now, one more thing I want to make you understand is if this is the object, to make you understand, I will just change this color to white so that it will be clear to you. Okay. Okay, right. Now, this is the object. You see, for this object, if I select a green border has come, did you see that is nothing but the collider outline. Now, this collider generally it will be in the form of small triangles. You could able to see or not, I cannot assure. You see, these are all in the form of small triangles. If you want, you can increase the collider size also. Did you see? The boundary of this collider I am changing. I am editing the collider. The object will look up to here only, but the collider will be recognized here only. I hope you all are understanding, right? So, right, you can edit this collider also. Collider will boundary will be with the green light highlighted. You see here, I will run this one to make this even more understanding. I'll just lift this. Okay. Now, whenever I play game, earlier when this part will touch to this border, then it will stop there. But now as the collider boundary has been extended here, here only it will detect that one. So see, did you see? Understood? So it is not accordingly to your object boundary. It works according to your collider boundary. I hope you all are understanding this one. And the material that it works according to your physics material. You can see here in the inspector window, it works according to a physics material. So like this, as per your requirement, you need, if you want to have a collision detection happening, then make sure like you are applying a rigid body component on this object, and also you are connecting colliders, box collider or any specific kind of colliders. I'll show you one more thing. If you see, if you add a sphere, okay, you can see for sphere you are getting sphere collider, right? If you add, let me show you cylinder, you can see capsule collider. It depends upon the type of object you are using. For capsule, you are getting, for cylinder, you are getting capsule collider. For sphere, you are getting sphere collider. For cube, you are getting box collider, right? I'll add one more plane. You can see for plane, mesh collider. Got it? So different types of colliders are there. What are they? Box collider, mesh collider, sphere collider, and capsule collider. As per your requirement, whatever you want to have, you can add them and you can apply this one. I hope you all are clear. I'm just deleting the objects that are added. So we have worked with this one, with this cube, right? So try to work with these different kinds of colliders and apply the rigid body. I hope you all are clear with this concept of rigid body and the colliders in Unity 3D. If you still face any issues, let me know in the chat box. I will be very happy to help you. Let us all meet in the next lecture. Until then, thank you all of you.